Tonight on CTV News, troubling threats aimed at children.
We were horrified to think that that kind of thing could happen in our small little close-knit community.
Fear in Falkland in the shadow of Tumbler Ridge. Parents are patrolling the local school after a so-called death list was posted.
We felt it was time to make a change and give somebody else the opportunity to sit in that chair.
After an abysmal season, the Canucks fire their general manager. What the next period will bring for the beleaguered team.
This work is focused on understanding the supply, reducing risk.
Using AI to track toxic drugs, a first in Canada. Why police and UBC researchers say this technology will save lives.
This is CTV News with me, Jung Lee.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Families in a small BC town are on edge tonight, scared for their children's safety. They say a so-called death list targeting 16 students was posted online last month. With the Tumbler Ridge shooting fresh in their minds, some parents are keeping their kids home from school. And as CTV's Michelle Bernaro reports, they're calling on police and school officials to do more.
In the quiet community of Falkland, there is a sustained sense of fear.
We're all at wit's end. We don't know where to go.
Their worries began last month when they say they learned of a death list targeting kids attending high school a half-hour away in Armstrong, though some of those students live in Falkland.
We were horrified to think that that kind of thing could happen in our small little close-knit community.
Falkland families say the teen who allegedly wrote the list lives near their community's elementary school.
Last week, kids were kept inside on several occasions, both at recess and at lunch, just because the individual was seen walking in proximity to the school.
Early last week, some of the parents got together and formed a parent watch group.
Lorianne Rohrback says her grandchildren aren't the only students being kept home.
We attempted to take them back to school last Tuesday, and that was the day that the youth was witnessed on the school field and had restrictions not to be allowed on school property.
One Falkland parent who did not want to be identified told CTV News she was shocked to learn her own teen was on the death list. Parents whose kids are on the list were not phoned by school officials until 2 days after they were made aware of the list. Parents say information from the school district has been inadequate, and they feel their concerns have been dismissed.
In the shadow of Tumbler Ridge, I don't think that you can be too cautious when it comes to something like this.
In February, 8 people, 6 of them children, were killed at a school and home in Tumbler Ridge in one of the worst mass shootings in Canadian history. The superintendent of schools for the Falkland and Armstrong areas says she recognizes the tragedy in Tumbler Ridge has understandably heightened anxieties across the province, but that all threats are taken seriously and addressed through a comprehensive and coordinated approach. She says families directly impacted were provided with additional details and the general public has received appropriate updates. Parents also say their requests for ongoing police patrols of the elementary school have been largely ignored.
I feel like even having a police presence intermittently within Falkland would be of great help, even just visually.
RCMP say they are continuing an investigation after being notified about concerning online behavior. They say one person was arrested and released on strict conditions. As we continue our investigation, it's important the community knows school and students are safe. Police add appropriate safety measures are in place and being closely monitored. But Rohr says it's frustrating when she thinks of how many officers were stationed at the ostrich farm in Edgewood before the ordered cull of birds last year.
We're only asking for one officer, to patrol school days.
Families say they want not just what's best for their children, but they hope the author of the death list gets the help they need so their community can return to what it was. Michelle Bernaro, CTV News, Vancouver.
Now to a shakeup at the Vancouver Canucks office. The last place team has now fired its GM, Patrick Alvin. CTV's Craig Krause has more on the move that wasn't completely unexpected and what's next for the franchise.
It's going to be 20. hours after a blowout loss in Edmonton capping off one of the worst seasons in franchise history, the Canucks made their move, firing general manager Patrick Allvin.
We felt it was time to make a change.
Canucks president of hockey operations Jim Rutherford says the failure wasn't all on Allvin, but admits losing was part of the plan.
In a lot of ways, it was intentional. I know that sounds bad when you're in sports, but we got to a certain point in the season where we knew it wasn't going anywhere, and there were some things that Patrick could have done to add a player or two, which would have given us a better chance to win a bunch of games.
All to give them a better shot of getting a high draft pick.
This was a tough call and a tough situation.
The news comes as players cleaned out their lockers Friday.
You know, it's just unfortunate, and it's part of the business. And, you know, he's been great to me, and he's been great to a lot of people. And
obviously, a tough day, tough seeing him go.
Hired in 2022, the Canucks under Allvin have had their ups and downs. A deep playoff run followed by multiple disappointing seasons, leading to JT Miller being traded to New York and former captain Quinn Hughes to Minnesota, handing the keys to Elias Pettersson, who many believe hasn't met expectations after being given a massive $92 million contract.
I want to be the best player out there, and obviously it hasn't gone the way I wanted it.
So where do the Canucks go from here? That's the question many Canucks fans are asking themselves right now, as the team is without a general manager going into one of the most important drafts in franchise history, and that's only 10 weeks away.
Well, it sounds like they're going to conduct a more thorough process than what we had thought before.
A search that begins Monday with Ryan Johnson, the GM for the Abbotsford Canucks, among the names in the mix. Whoever takes over will be tasked with deciding the future of head coach Adam Foote.
That's the way the future's going to be here.
A long offseason now underway and a franchise at a crossroads. The next move could define the Canucks for years. Craig Crow, CTV News, Vancouver.
The puck drops on the Stanley Cup playoffs tomorrow afternoon, and with the Canucks obviously out of the running, who are local fans supporting?
Montreal. Montreal's my team this year. I want them to go all the way.
Who are you rooting for now that the Canucks are out of the playoffs?
Sabres, because they really need it.
No, I don't know. The Oilers? Edmonton? Yeah, probably.
It was a mixed bag of responses, but with most support going to Canadian teams. 3 Canadian teams made the playoffs: the Habs, the Ottawa Senators, and Edmonton Oilers, who reached the Cup final the last 2 seasons. The puck drops on the playoffs tomorrow at noon, with the Sens visiting the Carolina Hurricanes. Langley RCMP are investigating after 2 young people were sent to hospital with apparent stab wounds earlier today. RCMP got the call just after 2 p.m. of a situation on Fraser Highway near 272nd Street in Aldergrove. Police say while today's stabbing is not related to a similar incident that happened yesterday, they do believe it was targeted. There isn't believed to be any risk to the public. A man has been arrested in connection to a stabbing in Langley yesterday that police say was also targeted. Langley RCMP, including the tactical unit, swarmed this complex along 199th Street around 4 p.m. Thursday. A 46-year-old man was found with serious stab wounds and taken to hospital. Today, Mounties say they arrested a suspect in Surrey. The 36-year-old Langley man remains in custody and has not yet been charged. Police believe he and the victim are known to each other. Scientists and police in BC are partnering on a new chemical fingerprinting program for illicit drugs, an approach officials say could be a game changer. CTV's Dimitra Maragos has the story.
This robot is a game changer for police. It's analyzing and deconstructing illicit drugs.
This initiative is about improving our awareness of what is circulating in that drug supply and doing so earlier.
It's part of a provincially funded program already in action, using technology created at UBC by Eidos Innovations.
I actually compare it to the advent of DNA when it first emerged.
It allows investigators to track how illegal substances circulate throughout the province with the help of AI.
Track and trace doesn't just identify drugs in a sample. It allows us to look backwards to understand how they were produced in the first place. And it allows us to look forward to anticipate how they may move across communities over time.
The instrument seen here will test the drugs for impurities.
We end up with the sample now ready to go for the analysis of these vials.
Victoria Police are part of the pilot. The department chief says the results will be available on a dashboard for investigators. For the time being, this technology will not be used for criminal investigations.
This initiative is not about tracking individuals, and it is not about criminalizing people who use drugs. This work is focused on understanding the supply, reducing risk, and improving safety for everyone in our communities.
The province says this announcement is timely as we mark 10 years since the toxic drug crisis was declared a public health emergency.
A decade after being declared a public health emergency, this crisis persists, and our government remains deeply committed to doing everything possible to save lives and hold those responsible to account.
Demetra Marigo, CTV News, Vancouver.
We are getting a look at just how busy Vancouver's firefighters were last year and the obstacles they continue to face.
We responded to just over 66,000 incidents, which was about a 10% decline from the year before. And a lot of those reasons are the reasons that we went to fewer incidents is because we did targeted outreach, fire prevention, and enforcement to a lot of our at-risk buildings.
The Vancouver Fire Rescue Service's annual report for 2025 shows fire response time slightly improved by 4 seconds to just under 6.5 minutes. 60% of fires last year were caused by smoker materials. Fry says they are also preparing for increased challenges this summer during the World Cup. Anyone who's visited an emergency room in BC lately knows our healthcare system is in crisis. Increasing wait times at ERs are just one example of a system in desperate need of help. But some of the ideas being introduced next door in Alberta are making healthcare unions in our province very nervous. CTV's Isabella Zavarisi tells us why.
A wave of purple and blue as hundreds of BC healthcare professionals rallied in downtown Vancouver Friday, warning healthcare is under threat as our neighbors to the east move toward a two-tier system.
We do not want any Canadians to have to choose between being able to afford their groceries, being able to take care of their loved ones, or getting adequate healthcare. Healthcare is a human right, and we need to stand up for it.
On the 42nd anniversary of the Canada Health Act, 5 BC unions say everyone should be worried about what's happening in Alberta. Last year, the province's United Conservative Party passed Bill 11, allowing some doctors to provide both public and private care.
It opens the door to privatization, to U.S.-style healthcare, where if you can't afford it, you sometimes don't get the care that you need. Our system is certainly far from perfect.
Long waits, staffing shortages, and overcrowded ERs have fueled growing frustration in Alberta. Here in BC, a similar situation with ERs facing repeated and intermittent closures, maternity patients diverted, and long waits for tests such as CT scans.
Our healthcare system in BC is in crisis.
Union leaders want to know what the BC Conservative Party's stance is on privatization. In 2024, then leader John Rustad promised to expand private clinics. Asked about the party's current view,
people are falling through the cracks, even people dying waiting for care. So we have to look at what can we do to change that. And we strongly believe in a strong universal healthcare with timely access.
The province says it remains committed to strengthening BC's publicly funded healthcare system so people have equitable access to care based on their needs and not their ability to pay. Isabella Zavarisi, CTV News, Vancouver.
A ceremony in Langley marked an historic anniversary of the Korean War. It was also a send-off for a Canadian embarking on a 625-kilometer memorial journey in South Korea.
This commemoration will take 1 month and covers many parts of Korea. It has been described as a national event. At the end of my journey, I will visit the graves of our gallant soldiers who lost their lives in the Battle of Kapyong.
His commemoration walk marks the 75th anniversary of the Battle of Kapyong, an event that helped end the Korean War. Canadian troops played a huge role and 10 were killed in combat. A BC company plans to put a driverless electric passenger ferry to the test. What it could mean for the future of water travel on the West Coast. That story just ahead. But first, let's take a look at downtown Vancouver. This is from our camera on Grouse Mountain. It's looking pretty nice out there. A few clouds in the sky, but overall, Carolina, it was a pretty decent day.
Pretty decent day. Another day where you could just stroll along the seawall, not a care in the world. Yes. And that will remain through the weekend. So like I've been saying all week, if you like what we had today, you are going to love this weekend. But let's take a look at what's going on right now. Yes, a little bit of cloud cover, as you saw there, but still temperatures hovering right around average for this time of year. In Vancouver, it's 11. In Surrey, it's 15. I got to get my eyes checked. Chilliwack, it is 15. Looking ahead, the clouds will remain overnight, but look at tomorrow. Mix of sun and cloud. You're going to start the day sunny. Some cloud cover as the day goes on, but dry. I'll have more coming up in the forecast, what to expect for the next week.
16 degrees is very nice for April.
Not too shabby.
All right. Thanks, Caroline. A Victoria company has grand plans to start testing autonomous electric water taxi service in the capital region this year. Future Marine says it will begin testing a vessel in hopes of getting approval from Transport Canada to run the uncrewed service within the next 18 months. CTV's Brendan Strain has the details.
Victoria's Inner Harbor is busy, and by the end of this year, it's going to get a little more crowded.
We're hoping to bring a great public transit system that utilizes our waterways efficiently.
Future Marine Inc., an island-based company, says it will bring a new electric, accessible passenger ferry service to the Inner Harbor, which will be autonomous.
It has these sensors, eyes, which are cameras. It has other LiDAR and other sensing devices on board to feed into the autonomous navigation system.
The service is being modeled off a similar autonomous system already running in Stockholm, Switzerland. The first vessel is already in production on Vancouver Island, and once completed, it will begin running a crewed 500-meter trial route between Dockside Green and Village Marina.
So while the captain is on board, we can also allow the vessel to operate autonomously, and we will have a rigorous plan with Transport Canada to go through a series of trials over a 18-month period. I think it would be a reasonable length of time.
The harbour has many partners and stakeholders that have a role within it.
The middle of the harbour is governed by Transport Canada, which defines its traffic scheme, which includes a water airport. The Greater Victoria Harbour Authority owns 11 properties around the harbour, including Ship Point, the Lower Causeway, and Fisherman's Wharf.
When a piece of new technology is introduced to the harbour, it has to prove that it's safe, and that means it has to go through a rigorous testing period.
Future Marine says those rigorous tests will be completed and will need approval from Transport Canada before it can begin to operate autonomously. The Greater Victoria Harbour Authority says another water taxi service would be a welcomed addition.
More the merrier, it makes for a vibrant harbour.
The company says the new ferry system will be affordable, convenient, and work hand in hand with all the stakeholders that make up Victoria's Inner Harbour.
That's what we want to be part of, is an integrated transportation system, so you can move right across a urban landscape without the need of your car.
Brendan Strain, CTV News, Victoria.
The Michael J. Fox Theatre in Burnaby has been part of Metro Vancouver's art scene for more than 30 years, but the final curtain call is looming. Also coming up.
A lot of people don't want to use an app or are not comfortable using an app on the phone.
If you like using coins at parking meters, those days are numbered when the city will go completely cashless. When CTV News at 6 continues. Stay with us. It is the end of an era for drivers in Vancouver. In just a few weeks, parking meters will no longer accept coins. CTV Shannon Patterson has more on the reason behind the change that will eliminate the option of paying with change.
Most drivers who pull into a spot with a parking meter in Vancouver take out their phone to pay. How do you pay to park?
Through an app. Yeah.
So you don't use coins?
I don't.
I use an app, so I probably don't even carry change anymore.
I never use coins,
ever.
With so many people using apps, the city of Vancouver says now only about 4% of its parking revenue comes from coins at parking meters.
The cost of running those meters, operating them, the risks of transferring cash, the space we have in the yards for holding cash and the cash transfer through armored vehicles is really not sustainable for us.
So starting later this month, the city will be decommissioning the coin slots on all parking meters, eliminating that payment option entirely.
This will take about approximately 2 weeks for us to kind of cover the coin slots and update any information associated with that.
What do you think about doing away with the coin option altogether?
I think it's a good thing.
I mean, long term, I think it makes sense to do away with the coins and get everyone on the app.
But not everyone is ready to embrace a coin-free future. When you park at a parking meter, how do you pay?
Mostly by coin.
A lot of people don't want to use an app or are not comfortable using an app on the phone. So I prefer coins too.
I mean, change is always hard. It's always a bit of an adjustment for folks, especially with technological change.
Over the next year, standalone parking meters will be replaced by a single pay station on each city block. These coin slots will be decommissioned too, but drivers who don't want to download an app to pay by phone can use their credit card.
We didn't grow up with apps. You know, today's children, fine, but not us.
So maybe we're old-fashioned.
It's time to try to be curious about those apps. Try to get in the habit of pulling up your credit card or debit card and maybe start relying less on those coins because the time is now.
Shannon Patterson, CTV News, Vancouver.
4 dogs and a cat who were living in terrible conditions inside of an RV in Chilliwack are now safely in the care of the BC SPCA. The dogs, a hairless Chihuahua, a Shiba Inu mix, and a pair of young puppies were found with a black and white cat on April 1st. The inside of the vehicle was covered in urine-soaked garbage and feces. They were taken to a local animal hospital where they received treatment. The SPCA says all 5 animals are showing improvement and are becoming more affectionate by the day. A troubling attack on a Muslim woman on a public bus. The assault captured on camera. Also ahead.
It should pave the way for negotiations to end this war.
A major turning point in the war on Iran. Both sides confirming the critical Strait of Hormuz is completely open. What we can expect for gas prices. That's ahead. A wild scene in Toronto where a McLaren sports car nearly found itself upright after crashing into a light pole near the historic Casa Loma building. Police say 2 people in the car were taken to hospital with serious injuries, while another McLaren was also at the scene but undamaged. 1 person has been charged with impaired driving. Ships are once again moving through the Strait of Hormuz after Iran declared the crucial trade route was completely open. But the U.S. blockade on Iranian ships will remain in force, according to President Trump. CTV's Adrian Gabriel has more on the breakthrough and the shaky truce.
This critical waterway has been a turbulent geopolitical flashpoint for more than a month. The Strait of Hormuz, through which 20% of the world's oil is shipped, has reopened. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi writing on social media that in line with the ceasefire in Lebanon, the passage for all commercial vessels through the Strait of Hormuz is declared completely open for the remaining period of the ceasefire. U.S. President Donald Trump confirming the development as well, while posting on his Truth Social page that the naval blockade will remain in full force and effect as it pertains to Iran, only until such time as our transaction with Iran is 100% complete.
It should pave the way for, negotiations to end this war. Or it could also be used just to put pressure on the United States with their blockade against, commerce coming out of Iran.
Prime Minister Mark Carney took part in a call with world leaders today on restoring freedom of navigation through the strait. His office saying in part that the Prime Minister stressed the importance of international cooperation to protect navigation rights and promote stability for commercial shipping through a defensive framework grounded in international law. While oil fell more than 10% Friday, the average price at the pumps for Canadians remains elevated. Gas price experts are predicting an 8-cent drop by Tuesday. The though that's after an 8-cent spike across parts of the country expected tomorrow.
That's because of the switch to summer gas from winter gas. Then you have the drop in excise tax on Monday, and so everything's wish-washing around.
This comes as Air Canada announced it's suspending flights from Toronto and Montreal to New York's JFK International Airport from June 1st until October 25th due to rising jet fuel prices that are cutting into their profits. In Europe, the International Energy Agency says that continent has roughly 6 weeks of jet fuel remaining, with potential flight cancellations on the horizon as well.
It's going to take another few weeks, I think, in my mind, before we start seeing the big vessels coming through. And then it's going to take another 6 weeks on the sea to move things like aviation fuel to those countries that are running out of fuel as we speak today.
Any hope of peace and stability in these waters hangs on the ebbs and flows of ongoing negotiations. Those safety concerns do still remain in the Strait. President Trump today claiming that the U.S. is now working with Iran to remove mines from the vital waterway. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Toronto.
Toronto police are investigating an assault on a bus captured on camera that people are calling a blatant display of Islamophobia, and a warning the video may be disturbing to some.
What the you look behind me for?
What the Hey! You don't get the picture out just because you're a Muslim!
Police say the victim, a woman in a hijab, was verbally and physically assaulted. They say this is a violent and disturbing example of Islamophobia, which continues to be on the rise in Canada. The family of the 15-year-old Calgary boy who died in February following an avalanche is still waiting for answers from the ski resort.
What have they learned from this? How are they going to change to make sure this doesn't happen again, to make sure no one has to go through what me and my family are going through right now?
Amelia Hisdira was buried in an avalanche at Nikiska Ski Hill on February 27th. Parent company Resorts of the Canadian Rockies said it was doing a full investigation and would have more details when they become available. Emilio's family says no one has contacted them to express condolences or given them any information. One expert says investigations can take weeks and says it may be some time before any information is made public. The arts community is rallying to help save a Metro Vancouver theatre that's been around for more than 30 years. Also ahead. A sold-out concert this weekend at UBC, and the singer isn't even real. The global star who never ages. That's ahead.
Time now for tonight's Skywatch. A mainly sunny sky over Vanier Park and Kitts, with False Creek and the downtown core off in the distance. More where that came from, your weekend forecast coming up.
CTV Skywatch is brought to you by Kermac Collision and Autoglass, the name you'll remember when it matters. Kermac cares for kids.
Many of us have enjoyed performances at the Michael J. Fox Theatre in Burnaby over the years. But as CTV's Martin McMahon reports, it will no longer be available for community use starting in July unless another organization takes over.
The Michael J. Fox Theatre in Burnaby has been a place for a variety of local performances since 1993, but now that's all at risk.
There's a shortage of theatre infrastructure for performing arts, and so the loss of this venue will have a deep impact on the cultural scene in Burnaby.
Starting in July, the Burnaby School District will end community access to the space. The school district says it has recently been forced into more than $4 million worth of cuts and is losing money on operating the theatre. Something beyond its mandate after the nonprofit previously running it handed control to the school district last year.
Those were all incredibly difficult cuts that we faced, and that is above and beyond what we're now faced with having a community theatre as well. That community theatre itself does run at a loss. In the current fiscal year, they're running at approximately $150,000 of loss.
The union says a closure would also mean job losses.
11 stagehands who work at the Michael J. Fox Theatre were told that they would no longer be working at the theatre on July 1st, so they were given an 11-week working notice.
But the school board's chair hopes there can be a solution, with talks ongoing with the city.
We're really proud of the long-standing history that the theatre has had in the community of Burnaby, and we're hopeful that there will be an opportunity to have it run as a community theatre. It just cannot be done with the Burnaby School District at the helm.
The International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees has created a website and petition urging the city to act.
I really think the Burnaby Council should take this opportunity to make sure that this vital theatre continues to serve the residents of Burnaby.
The city of Burnaby did not have anyone available for an interview, but tells us it is looking into the feasibility of getting involved in the theatre in some way. In the meantime, lovers of the arts are left to wait and hope that this isn't this venue's last act as a community theatre. Martin McMahon, CTV News, Burnaby.
There's a popular concert coming to Vancouver this weekend, but the artist isn't one you would expect. Virtual singer Hatsune Miku will be hitting the stage at UBC to a sold-out crowd. The performances feature the animated character projected onto screens, often clear ones that create a holographic effect. She has performed at places as big as Coachella, but her earliest form dates back to 2007 as one of several voice banks, a developed voice synthesizer software. Interesting, but you know, I saw ABBA, the virtual ABBA concert, which is kind of the same thing because they weren't real, they were virtual, and it was actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, you're there for the music, you're there for the camaraderie.
Exactly, and the energy of the crowd gets you going, right?
Yeah, sold out, so they've got to be doing something right.
Definitely.
All right, let's take a look at the forecast. Speaking about doing something right, Mother Nature not letting us down. Let's take a look at the current temperature right now in Vancouver. It is 11 degrees. The clouds are starting to come out just ever so slightly, and these clouds will remain later tonight and overnight, but do expect some sunshine as you start your Saturday morning. Look at that, 8 degrees tomorrow morning. The clouds will re-enter the picture later on in the afternoon, and the day will basically be a mix of sun and cloud, and a high of 14. Some areas will see up to 16 degrees, which is the average for this day. Let's take a look at the weather tracker, a little bit closer to what we are talking about. So clouds over tonight and tomorrow morning. There you go. Tomorrow morning, nice and clear. A little bit of cloud cover along the water, but it's not going to be a cloudy day at all. This beautiful dry weather will continue into Sunday. So if you are doing the Vancouver Sun Run, you are going to be in luck. It's going to be a nice day. More on that in just a moment. Let's talk about what's happening in Port Hardy tomorrow. Mainly cloudy skies with some showers entering into the picture in the afternoon. High of 14 degrees. Campbell River, Comox, mainly cloudy skies. Also a high of 14. Tofino, you are going to see some periods of rain, and that will begin in the afternoon and high of 14. Also 14 degrees in Campbell River and Comox, increasing cloudiness as the day goes on. Tofino, there is a chance of some showers in the afternoon, and on the Sunshine Coast, it is going to be mainly cloudy skies. In Powell River and Seashell, the clouds will enter into the picture later in the morning. Whistler, mainly sunny skies. 14. Squamish, mix of sun and cloud, high of 17. As we head to the lower mainland, temperatures will hover between 14 and 19 degrees. Look at that, almost 20 degrees as you head toward Fraser Valley. And as we head into the 7-day forecast, it's going to be pretty much more of the same. Now, there is a chance of some showers on Tuesday night. There is just a slight chance. Still have to tell you about it, though, and again on Thursday. But, friends, this is not going to be a rainy stretch whatsoever.
Yeah, I think we're getting into the no jacket territory almost.
It's hoodie season.
Yes, the light jacket.
Yes.
Light jacket or hoodie.
Yes.
All right.
Love to see it.
Or in the Fraser Valley, no jacket.
No jacket at all out in Abbotsford.
All right, thanks, Caroline. Nous parlons, vous parlez. How fast can you conjugate in French? A BC teacher put students to the test. And some Canadians will be getting a one-time grocery benefit in June. How much families can expect to receive when CTV News at 6 returns. Taking Taking a look at today's markets, the Canadian dollar traded for 73 cents to the American dollar. And with the Strait of Hormuz open, oil down more than $8, closing the day at $82 a barrel. Gold gained $71 and stock markets soared after the news from the Middle East. The TSX gained 294 points. The Dow Jones gained 868. Ford Motor Company is recalling nearly 1.4 million Ford F-150 trucks in the United States and another 144,000 in Canada. In Canada, the recall applies to 2015 and 2017 models equipped with 6-speed automatic transmissions. Ford says the recall is due to a gear shift issue that may cause drivers to lose control, increasing the risk of crashing. Some Canadians will be getting a break at the grocery store this June in the form of a one-time grocery benefit.
The new Canada Groceries and Essentials benefit will provide direct relief to more than 12 million Canadians, helping to offset the cost of groceries for working families.
To qualify for the rebate on June 5th, Canadians must file their income tax return with eligibility mirroring the current GST rebate. The amount varies based on family size, with single individuals receiving up to $267 and families of 4 eligible for up to $717. The benefit will also be indexed to inflation, meaning payments will rise with the cost of living. In Edmonton, French immersion students got a chance to compete in a conjugation clash created by a BC teacher.
This is just a really fun, interactive way for kids to learn and memorize their French verbs, but in a really hands-on, active race competition.
Verbathon pits French immersion elementary students against each other, racing to conjugate verbs in written and spoken work. More than 200 students from 4 different schools competed in the sports-style tournament. It was created by Emmanuel Escueta, a Coquitlam teacher, and culminates in a national tournament every 2 years. An ABBA-inspired disco, the Sun Run, and Surrey's Vaisakhi Parade. The Friday feel-goods are next. Plus, inspiring exercise. Adam finds out why a man's intense workout routine led to a meaningful speech about shoes. Coming up on the Sawatsky Sign-Off. Right now, here's a preview of Your Morning Vancouver.
Monday on Your Morning Vancouver, we are taking a look at the growing fertility gap in Canada. More couples are intending to have kids, with the number of actual births going down. We'll explore as we begin Fertility Awareness Week. And the torturous Canucks season is officially over, what a rebuild looks like, and where fans can expect to see some changes. We're back after the weekend. We'll see you Monday morning.
Some lucky kids in Edmonton got a chance to use video games and Lego to help design a local neighborhood.
What are you guys building?
We're building a street. And we made a building. Yeah, we made a building right there.
The kids broke off into teams to learn about city planning and design through Minecraft and Lego. This was the second year of the Students Build Edmonton partnership between the city and the school district. When officers south of the border were called out to do a welfare check on a senior, they were relieved to find that not only was she completely fine, she was just busy.
We're here with her now. She's playing video games in her bedroom.
Talk about dedication. According to reports, the 91-year-old woman had ignored several welfare check calls because she was playing a game on her phone. While her family was initially worried, everyone got a laugh out of knowing she was just trying to beat her record on the game. That's pretty impressive, a 91-year-old who can figure out a game on the phone.
Put the do not disturb on, focus in on the game.
She's like, leave me alone, I have a record.
Okay, well, it's time for Friday Feel Goods, a weekly roundup of unique events happening in Metro Vancouver. Here are 3 things worth checking out.
Give me, give me, give me a man after midnight.
Call Calling all dancing queens, break out your sequins and flares for a disco dance party at the Rickshaw tonight. Gimme Gimme Disco will have you grooving all night long to hits from ABBA, Cher, and other musical icons. These DJ dance parties have become popular around the world, and attendees are encouraged to embrace the era's signature style.
Oh,
that looks like a lot of fun.
Oh,
have you
Big
ever
ABBA
been?
fan?
Yes, I like ABBA. I mean, we don't get to dance enough, right? Here's an opportunity to do that.
No, more physical activity. Tens and thousands of runners will lace up their shoes this Sunday for the annual Vancouver Sun Run, the 42nd annual. The full 10-kilometer route will take participants on a scenic tour of the city from English Bay to the Burrard Street Bridge. The race will finish up with a wrap party at BC Place, complete with live entertainment, free snacks, and the award ceremony. And friends, I can confirm it's going to be a nice morning for running.
Perfect.
Yeah, perfect. Right.
Okay, another massive turnout is expected at the Vaisakhi Parade in Surrey tomorrow, which organizers say is the largest in the world. About 500,000 people will watch the colorful procession. Hundreds of booths sponsored by local families and businesses will also give away free food and drinks. I love free food and I love free drinks. Sounds like a great event.
That's why there are so many people. I've been to the Vancouver one, and that's also got great food too. But this one is even bigger. This has even more people.
Yeah.
So if you have any events you'd like us to highlight, email your tips to ctvfeelgoods@ctv.ca. We'll get to the Sawatsky sign-off in just a minute. But first, Kevin, what's coming up tonight on the Late News?
Well, Mi Jung, the scammers are at it again. Vancouver police warning of scammers posing as fake bankers and fake police officers, and victims have already lost thousands. More details later tonight. Plus, during today's end-of-season press conference, Canucks president Jim Rutherford gave an update on the team's proposed practice facility at the Britannia rink site in East Vancouver. He says progress has been made, but the project is still waiting on what he calls, quote, public opinion. Later tonight, we'll hear from the Britannia Community Society and whether they would welcome the team to the neighborhood and the obstacles moving forward. Those stories and more tonight at 11:30.
Yeah, it's a popular rink, and I'm sure the community wants to make sure they still have access to the community center.
Absolutely.
Okay, thanks, Kevin. As a kid, a North Vancouver man felt defeated by his body and bullies. Now, as Adam finds out, he's turning that pain into purpose, pushing himself and inspiring others along the way. On tonight's Encore Sawatsky sign-off.
Before he grew up to speak publicly about his athletic shoes,
And they played a pivotal role in my life. They're very important to me.
Siobhan Meny says he was a boy suffering from a painful condition that left him confined to his bed for almost a year.
After that, everything went downhill for me.
When he returned to school, his grades descended, his weight increased, and the then 14-year-old began being bullied.
Every day was darkness. Every day was sadness.
Until one day, when he was 16, Siobhan says he hit rock bottom.
I was like, this is not where I want to be life. This is not where my story ends.
That's when Siobhan fell to his knees and felt compelled to do push-ups.
It went horrible. I wasn't able to do even more than two to three push-ups.
But instead of being deterred, Siobhan set the unlikely goal of running a 50-kilometer ultramarathon.
I made the vow to myself that day. No matter how hard an obstacle will be, I will keep pushing forward.
After months of training up to 5 hours a day, Siobhan finished a series of shorter races before eventually completing not one, but 2 ultramarathons.
I felt very happy. Of course, it was joy, but that doesn't end right there.
Siobhan was inspired to accomplish even more goals, including holding a plank for 1 minute while balancing 76 kilograms, more than 167 pounds, on his back.
Every record that I broke was wearing these shoes right here.
And everything that happened before he began wearing them, Siobhan says, he's actually grateful for.
All the negative things, because that transformed me into becoming a positive person.
And while this speech recently won him first place in a local Toastmasters competition, the 21-year-old says he's ultimately honing his communication skills in the hopes of inspiring others to overcome their adversity.
And once you take those first steps, it's going to be a whole roller coaster of your journey, and you're going to not even believe all the things that you accomplished.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, North Vancouver.
The Sawatsky Sign-Off, brought to you by 1-800-GOT-JUNK. They make junk disappear. All you have to do is point.
An inspiring story for all the runners taking part in the Sun Run this weekend.
Yeah. Except it's only 10K.
That's
and
true.
He did
You got to do it
50.
5 times, I guess.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, just keep going back and forth.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be good weather for it, though. Mix of sun and cloud, and highs about 15 degrees. And here's your scenic snapshot. Beautiful day there as well in Abbotsford. If you want your photo featured, email us scenicsnapshot@ctv.ca.
Beautiful. I've been meaning to go to that tulip festival.
Yeah.
It's probably near the end now. Because it doesn't last that long, right?
I will have to look into that.
All right, thanks for joining us. Kevin's back tonight at 11:30.
Good night.
Good night.